Hello and welcome. My name is Laurie Mitchell and you're back again, and this time with Step 5 of Speed Manifesting. Step 5 is the power and poison of words. Now this step is one that is transformational for a lot of people because it's something that you can take and use in your everyday life in a different way. So you've been using the power and poison of words automatically. It's just one of those principles of life that help you to create. But perhaps what you didn't know before was the exponential power and poison of your words to create your future. So when you start to become aware of this principle and then start to apply it into your life, you get fast results because most of us realize that we've been using the words against ourselves, against our dreams, against our future, when we can turn it around and take those habitual verbal words, verbal habits that we've been using, and start to use them for us. You see, we are creators, we are not reporters. And yet the way that we are in life, the way that we are about our words, is that we are reporters. So someone asks you, how are you today? And if you give them a litany of all the woes in your life, and this is a very familiar story for me and where it wasn't working for me. They ask you how you are, and you actually tell them the truth about the past, how you were. You see, you have to understand that the words that you speak now are creating for the future. You are a creator, not a reporter. So that's the truth of life, and when you report on the things that were, what you call your current reality was your past, a moment ago, 5 minutes ago. When you report on that, what you're actually doing is using the truth of the universal principles, which is that you are a creator, and you're recreating it. So you need to zip the bad stuff. You need to just zip it, and I'm just giving you this hard evidence for you to say, hey, turn it around and stop it. Just stop complaining about everything that's not right in your life and start telling a different story so that you can create a different story. This is really, really important, this step today. Over the last couple of days, you've been playing a manifesting game. You've probably noticed some really interesting things showing up out of your awareness and then your focus on creating something, like anything, a butterfly, whatever you wrote down to create. For me, they started showing up all over the place, butterflies, just because I said that to you. And of course I just laughed because of course that's what I asked for. And so whatever you were creating in your thinking, can you imagine the power when you take your thinking and turn it into the harmonics of voice, into the harmonics of words, into an intentional speaking about your thoughts. So the way the process works is your thoughts create your words, and then your words create actions, and that creates life. Thoughts, words, actions, all gaining momentum, all gaining power in your life to be able to create. Think of the great speakers that created so much just out of their speaking. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi. It doesn't have to be loud, but there's a power within that in our speaking we create change, not just in our lives, but it reverberates out into the lives of those around us, into the lives that we touch. And the way that we usually know that this is truth, this whole principle, is because we know we've said something bad and then it's happened. So start listening to yourself, first of all. Start noticing where you have this self-fulfilling prophecy of doom and gloom, and just stop it. Put some new words in there. This takes a little bit of effort and to change a habit. And so spend the time, spend the effort to do this, and what you'll find is that you'll start to get more control over your creating, because your words will come from the conscious part of you rather than that subconscious part of you that I talked about yesterday. Take that little voice, put it on your shoulder, but don't let it dribble out of your mouth. Let those thoughts sit while you speak forth what it is that your intentions are about your life. Somebody says, how are you? You say, I'm great. You can even say, if things are miserable, you can even say, I'm getting there. Things are beginning to change. I always find a parking space. I always get the green lights. Whatever it is, start practicing the little muscles so you can build up the big muscles. This is so, so important. Speak only good. When you hear a complaint, don't repeat it. That's gossip. Gossip is an undermining conversation about someone. So if you hear other people, you can just, ask them to talk to somebody who could make a difference about that complaint, or you could say, that's interesting, and excuse yourself. You don't have to engage in this whole conversation that then creates for you. All right? So enjoy the movies, enjoy the entertainment, enjoy life and all of its contrasts, but for yourself and your creating and your speaking, begin to speak in ways that are powerful for you in what you do want in your life. And that's what I invite you to do today. So I hope you've enjoyed doing some of this manifesting game. And today and tomorrow, what I want you to do over the next 2 days is to start listening to the sound of your own voice and the words that you use. And listen to whether you're using power or whether you're using poison. And switch it around. Start to create. Start to get a focus on your own words. And then think about how you can use them more powerfully rather than automatically. And that's the choice you have today, is to move from automatic words into conscious words, which is a second-degree power of creating from thoughts, words, and then finally actions. All right? So that's today. And for tomorrow, step 6, we'll be talking about taking action.